Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I found out today from somebody that New York is officially on high alert for the last 4 months, and I had no idea. And when I heard that, I thought, I think Shabbat is the opposite of high alert. Like, we have to go into low alert and be assured that this is a safe space in which we can breathe and sing and think and be. So let's just start with a few deep breaths and settle our minds that may have been on high alert all week or maybe since October. Settle our minds and see if we can go into low gear, low alert, into the vibration, the frequency of shalom, peace, of shleimut, wholeness.
We turn to page 6. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharem, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. page 8. Igale, gale, gale, na. ופרוס חביבי עליי את We turn to page 10. Still find my mic's way too loud on the monitor. Thank you. לכו נרננה לאדוני נריע לצור אישנו נקדמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו ו40 שנה אקוט בדור ואומר עם טועה לבבם ולא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי באפי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי Please rise on page 20. מזמור לדוד, אבו לאדוני בן-אלים, אבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז. איי איי איי, אבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני וידע קודם כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד יהי אדוני על מים רבים Page 22. Famous story that rabbis of old told is that every day of the week has a friend. So some stories go that Sunday has Monday and Tuesday has Wednesday, and then there's some stories that go that Sunday has Sunday has Wednesday and Monday has Thursday. But all the stories end the same way. That the only one who doesn't have a friend is Shabbat. But Shabbat does have a friend. Does have a friend that's a day, but the friend of Shabbat, Yedid HaNefesh of Shabbat. That's Kehal Israel. So that's us. We are Shabbat's one true friend. And Shabbat's our one true friend. On this prayer poem on page 22, on the Bechoach, say Yachid Ge'eh Le'amcha Peneh. Say how lonely it is to be just one. Yachid Ge'eh. It says Yachid, it's one. One Yachid. But Yachid, one, that loneliness, is also the word Yachad. Yachad, togetherness. So how can we become from that one to be proud? We say Ge'eh. To be proud to be one, to be proud to be together as one. Just like Shabbat every day of the week. You just have to make my mic louder on Zoom. You don't have to make it louder here. You guys can hear me, right? So, page 22. Yachid ge'eh le'amcha peneh zochei kedushatecha Yachid ge'eh le'amcha peneh zochei kedushatecha Nay, 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 na, na, na. Nay, 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 na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, na, na, na. Nay, 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 na. Yay, nay, nay, na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, no. Yay, nay, nay, na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, no. Yachid ge'eh ve'amcha peneh zochei kedushatecha Yachid ge'eh le'amcha peneh zochei kedushatecha Nay, 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 no, nay, 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 na. Nay, 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 na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, no. Yay, nay, nay, na, na, na. Nay, nay, yay, no. Yay, nay, nay, na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, no. Nay, 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 na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, no. Nay, yay, nay, nay, na, na, na. Yay, nay, nay, no.
So there are rabbis who lived a long time ago, not the same rabbis that talked about the days of the
It's a
week,
different rabbis.
but other rabbis who said that Shabbat is a touch of the Garden of Eden. So moving to Shabbat, we enter the Garden of Eden, right? And then leaving Shabbat, we leave the garden. So,
Just making sure that you're.
is it working? It's not working?
Yeah.
Hello?
Let's try the other one because this one's a little.
Hello? Is that working or not?
Could be a little louder.
Could be a lot,
No,
a little closer.
Stefan.
I can't get much closer.
Let's switch with this one because this one looks like it's. Here.
How's that?
Switch to your mic. Can it be
Yeah,
louder?
is that
Louder in
working?
the
Yeah.
room. Louder in the room.
Better? Better? Great. What a way to start a meditation.
Yeah. I thought you didn't start yet. All right. Okay.
So if you're willing, close your eyes and see if we can enter a garden, the garden within your own heart and your own mind, and begin to investigate what's in the garden. There might be some tightness, and maybe that tightness are tight buds that aren't yet ready to open. Maybe the weather's a little cold or it's not quite safe. So give those tight buds, that tightness, a little attention. See if you can create a little safety around it. And maybe there's a little anger or more than anger, a lot of hostility. Something's happening that's really bothering you. Maybe kind of like a Venus flytrap, right? Like an aggressive plant. Maybe there's room for that as well. And then imagine meadows of calm and maybe even apple blossoms of love. And walk through this garden and see what's there in you and for you. There might be lush roses, but there are also thorns. There might be tulips that have passed their prime and they're ready to let go and wait for another year to bloom. There might be some cactuses that are hard to approach. But if you do, you might find some sweet water and even sweet insides. What does your Garden of Eden look like? Where is that place of peace and magic and serenity where all your emotions, all your thoughts can live side by side, but there's still room. There's still an expanse. There's still room for buds to open and petals to drop and blossoms to behold. As you walk through that garden, know that this garden is always waiting for us. That even though the first Adam, the first human beings left the garden long ago in shame and self-consciousness and discovered how hard the world is and mortality and work and death and all that makes human life difficult and challenging and worse, there is still a garden to go back to. A poem by David White called The House of Belonging. I awoke this morning in the gold light, turning this way and that, thinking for a moment it was one day like any other. But the veil had gone from my darkened heart, and I thought it must have been the quiet candlelight that filled my room. It must have been the first easy rhythm with which I breathed myself to sleep. It must have been the prayer I said, speaking to the otherness of the night. And I thought, this is the good day you could meet your love. This is the gray day someone close to you could die. This is the day you realize how easily the thread is broken between this world and the next. And I found myself sitting up in the quiet pathway of light, discovering this is the bright home in which I live. This is where I ask my friends to come. This is where I want to love all the things it has taken me so long to learn to love. This is the temple of my adult aloneness, and I belong to that aloneness as I belong to my life. There is no house like the house of belonging.
Or לך דודי לקראת קלה בני שבת שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת וקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם סוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, ומצאים מתוך הפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה. והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי והתהלכמי. קרובה אל נפשי גאלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת אורי, 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 שיר, דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת תקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקראת כלה, בני שבת remain standing for another minute.
We will say a healing prayer on page 113, El Narafan Allah. Tonight, we're especially thinking about Sofia Carrillo Ramirez, who is our operations director, Victor Ramirez's niece, who's sick in Mexico in a hospital, and we wanted to offer a special prayer for her. You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Time to greet and welcome new people in the room, or even if you haven't been here in a long time or you're visiting from far away, we'd love to say hello. Do we have a microphone? This one? But I need to speak into it.
Wait. The other mic? Oh, it's here? Oh, yeah. Let's see. There you go.
So whoever's new, if you can just stand, say your name, and if you're willing,
Hello.
and
Hello.
briefly
Hello.
tell us where you're from.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you can make it louder.
Okay, no new people?
Anyone new?
Okay, right here, Jeffrey.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Semi-new, a visitor.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Klein, rabbi in Los Angeles, and I was here last in January, and I keep wanting to come back and just kind of settle in here and live here. It's really terrific and grateful for you. I'm every Friday and Saturday I'm zooming in. So thank you.
You also come to Open Book, yeah? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, I'm Maria. I'm here from Kittery, Maine, because I have a new grandbaby.
Ooh, Mazel Tov. Woo.
Whose father is sitting next to me, and whose uncle is also here
Wait, where's the baby?
with Mama. Thank you. It's beautiful to be here.
Welcome and Mazel Tov. If you're on Zoom and you're new, feel free to put your name in the chat and people in the Zoomagog will welcome you. Okay. No one else. So this week we're in Parshat Emor, in the book of Leviticus. We're really deep into Leviticus. And at the end of this Parsha is a really brutal story. It describes two men fighting, one a pure Israelite, and another one who has an Egyptian father and an Israelite mother. Now, you might be wondering, how did that happen? And I'll address that a little bit later. In any case, neither of these two men have names, but unusually, the mother of the half-Egyptian man is explicitly named. Her name is Shlomit, the daughter of Divri, of the tribe of Dan, or Dan. So imagine the scene. Two young men in the middle of the Israelite camp in the wilderness, throwing fists, pummeling each other, their faces contorted with fury and pain, their friends surrounding them, maybe egging them on, one calling the other names, "You half-breed, you Egyptian, you don't belong amongst us, go back to Egypt where you belong." I imagine Shlomit, the mother of the half-Egyptian young man, trying desperately to get them to stop fighting. First, she approaches and gently tries to put her body between them, but the pure Israelite man shoves her out of the way. She begins yelling and crying, but they ignore her. They are consumed by a desire to hurt, to maim, to even kill one another. Seeing that she is helpless to stop the horror before her, Shlomit's knees buckle and she falls, sobbing to the ground. And here's what happens next. The Torah tells us that the son of Shlomit, the Israelite woman, pronounced the name. Vayikov ben ha'isha ha'Yisraelit et ha-shem, meaning the divine name. Now, this word vayikov is very interesting because it means to puncture, to perforate. So what does it mean to put a hole in divinity itself? And then it goes on to say vayikalel, he cursed. So he did two things. First, he punctures, or, in pronouncing explicitly the divine name, which should not be done according to the Torah, except on Yom Kippur by the high priest in the Holy of Holies. So he pronounces this name in the most unholy of contexts, right? In the context of violence. And then vayikalel. So he curses. But if we look closely at the root of that word, it means to make light. And it's the opposite of kavod, which means gravity and respect, honor and glory, like kavod Hashem, the glory of God. What happens in this story is already ugly and horrible, and what happens next is even worse. So no one knows what to do, and he's sort of put in like a temporary prison until God tells them what to do. And what God tells them to do is for all the Israelites who heard the cursing and heard the pronouncing of the name to put their hands on his head, and then all of Israel stones him to death. Now, you can imagine, if we read this literarily, a little measure for measure here, a little midah keneged midah. He makes the holy name, right, the name of glory, light, and he's killed with the heaviness of rocks. The Midrash kind of does us a favor here by giving us a backstory, right? Helps us understand what's happening. And what the Midrash tells us helps us have compassion for the half Egyptian, half Israelite man. So according to the Midrash, and this is in the Sifra, which is basically a 3rd century compilation, this half Israelite, half Egyptian man goes over to other tribe members in the tribe of Dan, or Dan, and tries to pitch his tent with them. And they say to him, "What right do you have to pitch your tent in the camp of Dan?" He says, "I'm descended from the daughters of Dan." And they throw Torah at him almost like it's a weapon, quoting the book of Numbers and say, "Tribal portions follow the house of the father." He appeals the court before the court of Moses, and he lost his case. And so he was so despondent and angry that he arose and cursed God. He was rejected first by his brothers and then again by the courts of Moses. He could not find any justice. And all this poor young man wanted was belonging, right? Something we all want, right? Do we belong? Where do we belong? When do we belong? He wanted to have a home amongst the only people he ever knew, to set up his tent near his brothers. But being of mixed heritage, he was ostracized by his people. And then worse, he was rejected by the courts, who could not see beyond the his parentage, to the human being that wanted so desperately to belong to his people. Everyone agreed this man had no place amongst his people. His poor, poor mother, poor Shlomit bat Divri from the tribe of Dan, what a tragic way to lose a child. Her name, ironically, can be remembered as Peace, the daughter of language, right? Shlomit bat Divri, from the tribe of Dan, from the tribe of judgment, Dan. She stood for peaceful language, and her son came to the most painful, tragic, and violent end because of his words. So I find this story in the Torah a little depressing, but I find the Midrash illuminating and even giving me a little hope, because it gives us a backstory, right? It gives us a wider context with which to understand what is happening for this man, right? For this young man. So the Midrash enlarges the Torah's story and humanizes it. And then I found this amazing contemporary Midrash by Professor Wendy Zierler, who's a professor of modern Jewish literature and feminist studies at HUC, who provides another legend, a contemporary Midrash that helps us understand his mother, Shlomit bat Divri. She asks the crucial and basic question: how did this person of mixed heritage come to be? How and why did Shlomit's son have an Egyptian father? And so she says, given the context of Israelite enslavement in Egypt, is it not possible that Shlomit, like so many African American slaves who were raped and impregnated by their masters, might have been abused and used by a slave master or overseer? And that is how she came to give birth to the son of an Egyptian man. She continues, Shlomit bat Divri was a struggling ex-slave and single mother who labored against all odds to raise her son and shield him from the prejudices of the surrounding community. Alas, the son went out of his mother's tent and discovered that the world around him was not what he expected. He saw that he was a second-class citizen in a society of former second-class citizens, and that he was not wanted among his would-be brethren. His mother may have attempted to counter and diffuse his youthful anger when it flared. Befitting her name, Shlomit, from Shalom, peace, she may have tried on any number of occasions to bring peace and calm to shore up her son's bifurcated identity. So I love this contemporary midrash. It helps us understand not only the child, but provides a context for his courageous mother, the single mother struggling against all odds to make a home for her son, to create peace for her son in the midst of Israel. Over the past week and a half, we have traveled through Jewish history by commemorating key moments in the Jewish story. First, Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day. Then, Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day for all the fallen soldiers in Israel, which this year was particularly painful. And finally, Yom HaAtzmaut, the day of Israel's independence, a day that one of my Israeli friends, a rabbi in Tel Aviv, told me was impossible to celebrate this year. There was no joy, and she would not recite the special kiddush, the special sanctification of the day that she wrote a few years ago. Howling through all these commemorative days, all these yoms, I hear the question of Jewish belonging. Where do we belong? History has shown us that we did not belong in Europe, certainly not then. And so the Jewish people formed a state in the Middle East, seeking a home, seeking belonging, seeking safety. But that belonging brought with it pain and displacement for another people, the pain of not belonging. Rabbi Dr. Shai Held, who's the president and dean of the Hadar Institute and author of the new bestseller, Judaism is About Love, if you haven't noticed, Recovering the Heart of Jewish Life, recently quoted Moshe Una, a visionary of religious Zionism who died in 1989. He was a member of Knesset from the National Religious Party and a founder of the Religious Peace Movement. Una was a teacher of Jewish humanism who teaches that there are two elements of love of heritage. One is embracing our own connection to the land, and the other is acknowledging that another people have the same feelings. He calls this chinuch hamoledet, the education of the birthplace. I know I'm dreaming now, but permit me a moment of dreaming. Can you imagine two peoples teaching their children that they both belong to the same land? That there is enough room for two peoples and a recognition that the story of the other is also sacred? Can you imagine two peoples teaching that everyone belongs? I sometimes imagine not a two-state solution, but a two-story solution. That if each people is taught the story of the other, there might be a possibility of peace. For so long, neither people wanted to know the story of the other, each story eclipsing, canceling the narrative of the other. And they certainly don't, for the most part, have the capacity to understand the other at this moment, in the midst of trauma and war. But I still hope and dream. I know you are probably thinking I'm naive, and I might be, but in order to change reality, we need to dream of new possibilities. Theodor Herzl himself, the father of modern political Zionism, said, "If you will it, it is no dream." And Chaim Weizmann, the first president of Israel, used to say, "You don't have to be crazy to be a Zionist, but it helps." So just give me a minute to dream, to be crazy, along with Shlomit, the single mother of the son who was tragically stoned to death because the children of Israel decided he didn't belong. Just imagine with me for a moment that the children of Israel in the wilderness made room for the tent of the child of mixed heritage, for the son of an Egyptian who was also the son of Shlomit bat Divri in the tribe of Dan. One could say she speaks the language of peace, but no one listened to her. Imagine the Israelites listening to her words and saving her child's life by making space for him, by making space for all the children. Imagine two peoples listening to her message that each human being, each child in this world, should have a place of safety on this earth, should belong, that each deserves a place of dignity, of hope, that despair, that exclusion, that violence is not a home, will not provide the most basic human need of belonging. Can you imagine? Can we imagine?
Please rise for the Baruch Hu, call to prayer on page 3334. You can be seated. אלא חיה וקיימת, תמיד תמלוך עלינו לעולם. ברוחת שכינה המעריבה האביב, יין מצוות חוקים המשפטיים אותם למדת, ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Shema Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. On page 48.
מי כמוך,
מי כמוך,
אלוהים אדוני,
אלוהים אדוני,
מי כמוך,
מי כמוך,
נדר בקודש,
נדר בקודש,
מלכותך,
נורא, תהילות,
עושה,
עושה,
מלכותך,
רבניך,
ובניך,
בוקר היה, לפני משה ומרים,
משה ומרים, אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו,
מי את חזק ממנו,
חזק ממנו, Baruch
Ata Adonai
Ata Adonai
God Israel. Page 49. Shelter us in place.
Shelter us in place.
Shelter us in peace.
Shelter us in peace.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in place. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace.
Shelter us in peace.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Ashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu. Ashkivenu leshalom. Ashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu. Ashkivenu leshalom. Yai dai 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 dai. 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 Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Oh, France, Aleinu. Sukkah Shomecha. Oh, France, Aleinu. Sukkah Shomecha. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace.
Shelter us in peace.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Shelter us in love.
Baruch Ata Adonai Hapores Sukkah Shalom Aleinu Be'ad Kol Amo Yisrael ועל כל יושבי ועל כל יושבי תבל
ונאמר אמן.
Please rise.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדותם בריב עולם. איי 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 בני ובין בני ישראל הודיעי עולם ששמיים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ביום השני שבת ויהי נפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועל מה דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחיי חונו יומךו ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן. יש מרבה מבורך לעלם ולעל מעל מיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתעלה. שמי דקודשה לילה עם כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושמחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה. And let us say Amen.
please rise as you are able.
Page 78.
If you're saying Kaddish, if you have a yurtzeit or you're in mourning, please remain standing.
One 116. 116.
116, sorry. So I'm going to go around if you'd like to say the name of the person you're saying Kaddish for.
My father, Irving Gray, and my friend, Dave Sanborn.
My father, Chaim Ben Rivka. If it is your custom to stand in support of the mourners, you may rise. Yikadal v'yikadash shmei Rabbah. V'yomad devrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayichon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael. V'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'lam u'lomei amaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yiparar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei t'kusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata damiram v'yomah v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. You may be seated.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
So as you all know, every year between Pesach and Shavuot, we count the Omer. It's not the only thing we count, though. we also take this opportunity to count Romemu members. It is our annual membership drive, and it's so important to stand up and be counted as a member. I mean, first of all, everything you see here is supported by membership in Romemu. So if you come to Romemu, if you love Romemu, please become a member. If you've not been a member before, renew your membership. It's been heard that members get first dibs on going to heaven. No, wait, that doesn't sound right. You don't get to go to heaven first. Doesn't mean you don't die first. What it means is that when you're in heaven, you get first choice on high holiday seats in heaven. And as they say, as above, so is below. Members also get first chance to sign up and reserve high holiday tickets ahead of the open non-members. And this year, because we are going to be, I guarantee this year, we are going to run out of seats on high holidays. So it's actually important, if you remember, you'll get guaranteed seats for the holidays. So that's another great reason to become a member. Another great reason to become a member is that you get to vote as a member at the upcoming annual member meeting. And this year, there's a lot going on. You may have heard rumors. There's a lot of things going on, and the membership meeting this year is going to be very important that we have people attending. We're going to be talking about decisions about where we're going as a community after, as we know, this building has been sold, and we are going to need the members to approve by a vote various decisions. So you'll hear more about that in the upcoming weeks, and you'll vote, and we need your vote. So many reasons to become a member. So thank you very much. There's also a lot going on. You've got a sheet here. I'll just highlight a couple things. If you've never taken a Kabbalah class with Rabbi David Ingber, it's been a couple years since he taught Kabbalah. He is teaching a new series called Introduction to Kabbalah. I highly recommend it. It will blow your mind, body, spirit, and heart. I guarantee it. Sign up for it. It's described in this and on the website. The last thing I'll just mention is there's a great commemoration, not celebration at all, about what happened in Kibbutz Kfar Aza, and that's on May 22nd on Wednesday, so that's next week. Again, details are here. If anybody also hasn't heard, there's an exhibit on the Nova Festival downtown, which is incredible. I just got tickets to go myself. I highly recommend it. Everyone should bear witness to what happened in Israel. And that was one of the most heartbreaking sites we visited when we were on the mission, their own mission to Israel. We went to the actual site of the Nova Festival, and it was indescribable, and you have to see it. You have to bear witness. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Yeah, and I can do thank yous also. Yeah, we can do thank yous. You want to do thank yous before Sphira? Yeah, let's do thank yous.
Let me thank Jeffrey Kahn, who is on-site staff.
And also guitar player of the Romemu band.
And, of course, guitar player. And his son, Sinai, who is greeter. AV is...
Stefan.
Stefan. Says
you.
Stefan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Stefan.
And this amazing community band.
Yeah.
Doug, Ellen, Farnoosh, Jeffrey, Judah, and Judy.
And
of
Rabbi
course,
Dan Coloreses.
Shimon. Security is Gil. Facilities, Victor, Blanca, Lenore, and Lorena. And I think that's it. Is that it? Thanks to all of you for coming.
Online, online.
Who's online?
Okay. And Claire?
Anne Claire. It doesn't say that here.
Claire.
Thank you, Anne Claire.
The counting of the Omer can be found on page 103. Please rise. Today is day 25 of the Omer. Le'Hashem yichud, u'tshabrichu shchitei, hineni muchan u'mezuzah, lekayem mitzvat aseh,
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר שבע שבתות תמימות תהיינה שבע שבתות תמימות תהיינה היום 25 יום שהם 3 שבועות ו4 ימים לעומר נצח שבנצח היום 25 יום שהם 3 שבועות ו4 ימים לעומר נצח שבנצח יא 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 Kiddush can be found on page 88.
And before we say Kiddush, I want to thank one more person, which is Eden Foster, who does everything all the time, everywhere.
יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא בריאה גפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים קיבלנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. שבת שלום. עושה שלום ומעט ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי דרך ויראו אמן. Shalom